please remember to leave a like, a comment, share the video about, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Thank you. Well, isn't this just fantastic? Captain's Log, subdates 23.1.120.8. To start the week off, we're going to move to the rear end of the low IQ and investigate a potential exit hole. If our scanners are right, this could take us into a hollow earth kinda tunnel. If we're wrong, we're gonna skin Borg. Owing to electrical issues at my house today, yes, I was playing part as an electrician, not even a joke. This video is going to be a bit stripped back. I noticed recently YouTuber Pearl Davis was demonetized. Now, I, on the face of it, do not support that, but I think it right to tell you a bit about who Pearl is first, so you can get some context. And I will state, I have been wanting to do a long form video on Pearl for quite some time, but I also know if I do a video on somebody from the community she's a part of, I'm going to get flack, even if I just poke and say, please tell me you understand why this is funny. Pearl Davis is a red pill YouTuber who believes in many things. First of all, if you're over 30 and you're female, you're basically barren and have failed at life. She believes that women should not have the right to vote. In fact, she is quite spicy on a number of things concerning women, women's rights, and women in society. A lot of it comes from a position of contradiction because she herself hasn't got her own act together. She's not married, she lives off her dad's money, and what money she made from YouTube when she was making it. Pearl is, on Twitter, incredibly spicy. And by that I mean, considering how very politically correct the online space and society appears to be, she is quite happy to not be. And there's nothing wrong with that. I firmly believe in free speech, and you should of course be allowed to say whatever you want. I saw Keemstar had tweeted out, should the R word be allowed again? Everyone voted yes. Alright. In context, I play an American truck and a Euro truck simulator game. There is a retarder function, because it's part of the truck. But I can't say the word without the at the end, apparently. That's a shame. Pearl has garnered a lot of heat. I know one creator, Tree of Logic, has been documenting her quite a lot recently. Pearl likes to espouse the idea of beauty standards with women. She's very critical. She's remarkably misogynist in a respect. She hates women. She really does. She acts like she doesn't, but her actions are very judgy and very critical, mostly of women. Now that's not to say she doesn't go in on guys. She had recently queried about who are the most snake-like red pillars. I couldn't answer that myself, I'm not part of the community. I try not to get involved in communities, or cringe. In the context of this video, they are both mutually exclusive. I've often found that many who are within communities can't quite see beyond their tunnel vision, because they have hyper-focused on something and they refuse to let go of it. And I understand that. I really do. Pearl's a creative soul. She even writes her own music. The judgmentalness does come from the more modern aspect of what a woman is. And I understand this as an older man, not like Pearl. Pearl's not an older man, but certainly an older individual. I'm not here to assume gender. We do look at those who are younger than us, and we do have questions. We do query whether society got it right. We do wonder whether or not the direction the society is going in that we live within is better or worse. Change is inevitable, but not all change can be considered good. A great example is politics. You change the party because you've had the same one for so long and the new one comes in and destroys your economy. But change, right? That's what it's all about. Pearl also takes quite a large umbrage issue, concern, problem with those who put out before marriage. I never quite understood the idea of purity before marriage myself, mostly because I don't believe that is a good way of testing an individual's commitment. I believe there are other tests that can be performed. Wrist to elbow is a good one. If you didn't get that was a joke, sucks to be you because this isn't going to get any easier for you. I should now state though, as spicy as she is on YouTube and on Twitter doing her red-pilled thing, whether it's an act or not I don't know, she's not always wrong. She just has a delivery system that is quite in your face. And I'm laughing when I say this, because where this goes, I cannot support. Now, on this channel we have discussed the actions of people on multiple platforms and how they have not, because YouTube moved the goalposts, been negatively impacted by what they've done elsewhere. Sniper Wolf is a great example of it. YouTube made it look like they did something, but we all know they bloody well didn't. In the case of Pearl, she was recently demonetized by YouTube. She does a daily show. She talks about topics including Andrew Tate, Steven Crowder, women taking advantage of men, talking about adult film stars, for example. As a content creator on YouTube, we all have to skirt a very obvious line. And we have to be very careful because while we would want to make the content we want to make, to be monetized, we can't. We now know on this platform especially, the laziest is often rewarded the most. There are a few exceptions, but there are not many of them. When one makes or gets involved in more political commentary, you are more likely as a creator to be yeeted. In this though, YouTube don't really want to get rid of you per se, but they will with no level of irony use your content to put ads on that you will not make any money from, as if it is a privilege for you to use the platform. I expect in the future for it to become a pay-to-play kind of platform, for creators where they have to front up a little bit of money first and still get demonetized in the near future. This is what Pearl had tweeted out on November the 16th. I have been suddenly demonetized out of thin air with no warning for hateful content at Team YouTube. Included, your channel is not currently able to earn. It has been flagged for harmful or hateful content. Now this area, in YouTube's terms of service, is quite nebulous. It is riddled in the vague realm of grey area. Because what is harmful and what is hateful? For Pearl, what can be considered hateful is her constant going on about women. Somewhat contradictory, of course, because she herself doesn't have her act together, which is quite amusing to me, and to many who can actually see past the irony and look at it with a bit of humour. Yes, we all need a funny bone. Harmful or hateful content usually centres around those who are considered marginalised in some manner. If Pearl made an entire channel devoted to hating men, she'd be fine. Not even a joke. But she would get a lot more dislikes and a lot more blowback from the Renaissance anti-SJW and Skeptic clones. I'd be one of them, to be honest. But because she zeroes in on a very red-pilled area, and red-pilled channels are renowned for being flagged off YouTube, renowned for being demonetized, because YouTube doesn't have a bias, but it totally has a bias. Pearl is one of many voices with a rather large platform who is considered enough that she can have a voice, but she cannot profit from her voice, or be able to pay her bills, her rent, or anything else unless she has a backup in the form of a Patreon, subscribe star, or perhaps is more active on platforms that would allow for more red-pilled content to exist and be monetized, like Rumble. It is why a number of red-pilled creators have gone to Rumble instead, and are doing exceptionally well in the process. So I should now highlight why I don't believe, and I'll state it again if I must, I do not believe that even someone like Pearl, who many may not like, should be removed from the YouTube Partner Program. In fact, I don't believe any creator should. I firmly believe that all creators should be monetized from the moment they make content. There shouldn't be bars set so high, like they are now, that many people cannot get monetized no matter how hard they try, because you need to get monetized to be able to blow up. You do need that, or you go viral for some dumb jackassery. It is a lot harder now than it was when I started, and when I started, I was monetized from the beginning. I remember in my first month, I made 2 pence. I was very happy with myself. It took me 15 months to get my first paycheck, to get to the prerequisite £60, I think it was, to get a payout. Although I should point out, I have a channel I'm not monetized on, because I can't get to the 4,000 watch hours to be able to monetize it, and it's a narration channel. And I'm going to insert this snide little comment. I get told my voice is quite nice by people, and I should do readings. I do the readings. You don't watch it. Okay. So, in the case of Pearl, while it is amusing to see her get demonetized, I do not support it. And that might not go down well with a lot of you, like myself, an oik, a pleb, but I do believe, with the nature of the YouTube ecosphere, it is done as a punishment to stop you, to try to stop you, from pushing buttons that you push. Whether you are right or wrong, I firmly believe your voice should be heard. And if one person can't because of what they say, I think it is a danger to then what can and cannot be considered free speech. Because don't forget here, YouTube claims to support free speech, but they also are against wrongthing, which is how this can be interpreted by Pearl and many that are red-pilled who have also been demonetized. The majority of them, by the way. It leads down a path of, inevitably down a path of, people going elsewhere to consume the content, to support the creator who has been ostracized by YouTube for wrong thing or perceived wrong thing. I will laugh all day at some of the crap that she has said on Twitter. For example, and I'll read this one verbatim, 16-year-old chicks are hotter than 26-year-old chicks. And others are saying it is okay he screwed a, well, under 10-year-old because it was a different time. Okay, I could guess it maybe 13 or 12, but 9? These are things Pearl says. And yes, Pearl gets a lot of crap for this. On Twitter. On a regular, in fact. But my position on whether she should be monetized on YouTube remains. She should, of course, go to the police possibly and have a few conversations. Maybe see a psychiatrist before she crosses lines, but thankfully I don't think she's in any direct danger to any sentient being, because I'm not fully convinced that she knows what anything intimate is at her obviously very young age of 27. I feel like if I ever do another video on Pearl, I could do a lengthy one about the conversation surrounding the women shouldn't vote movement. I don't support this, but only because I firmly believe all votes matter so that no lives can matter. I have a very different interpretation of equality. It's one where no humans exist. You're all welcome. Now, after Pearl was demonetized, she did go off on one for a length of time before resuming business as usual in the form of content and her presence on social media, much of which is parodied. She is called out daily. I think the biggest point that is made against her is the fact that if women shouldn't vote, why is it she is constantly on television? Why is she constantly given a voice? Why does her voice matter if her vote shouldn't? That leads down a separate conversation and very different topics. In fact, those topics go on for quite some time, and I don't think any of you deserve to suffer that from me, from this quite, well, tragic TED Talk. You're all welcome. Don't forget to smash the like on the way out. We need the engagement on the channel as we get closer to the Merry Meggy month of Moistmas. It's quite magical. Magnificent, in fact. Any other descriptors beginning with the letter M? Put them in the comments. Let me know. I'm on Twitch soon, by the way. Join us! Thank you.